watching the brat. ChesaTheBrat, yeah. Get a subscriber tab. ChesaTheBrat. Turn around.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're not already subscribed, girl, what are you doing? Literally,
what are you doing?
Have you not heard? When you subscribe to me, you get a fatter ass, you get a bigger bank, you get that you was plotting on.
Yeah.
As you guys can see by the title, this story time is a crazy one. And if you are an OG, or if you're somebody that's on my Instagram, you already know what we're about to chat about, boo. You already know what's tea. This story time is going to be about how I flew out to see my boyfriend at the time, and he almost gave me the clap. Also, I had an encounter with his ex and all of this stuff. Very, very crazy, traumatizing story time. The reason I say if you're an OG, you know that I've told this story time before. This was my first ever YouTube video ever. However, in that YouTube video, not only was I new to storytelling and content, like that was quite literally my first ever YouTube video, like ever. I'm not even exaggerating. So I wasn't telling the story with my full energy. Not just the energy though, I also left some stuff out, as well as not being able to explain certain circumstances with certain people that was involved in the story time, or just people that I mentioned in the story time, because let's just say certain bridges I didn't want to burn at the time. But y'all know I don't give up now, so I'm going to be telling that story time. And a lot of you guys as well have not seen that video. I did a poll, which this is why you want to be following me on Instagram at ChesaLaMorena, because I let you guys literally pick what I do. If you want to have control of what videos you see, if you want to have control of what videos you see next, what videos you see period, what kind of content I make, then you need to be following me on Instagram, because I literally let you guys interact with me there and choose these things. So I'm not just telling you to follow me just because I want some followers. I literally think that it's like important for y'all to be following me there. Y'all told me that a lot of you guys have not seen that story time at all. A lot of you guys are obviously newer than 4 years ago. That video is old as hell, and I'm just ready to tell it with full tea, full energy, and also be able to put y'all on game about certain circumstances that y'all didn't know about at the time. I don't really have any disclaimers other than to follow me on Instagram. Definitely hype this video. It helps me so much when you guys both hype my video. If you can, if you have any hypes, it's free to hype my video. Like my video, it's free. Please do it right now. Commenting on my video is free. I know it's a lot of effort. If you're on your TV or whatever, you're not gonna feel like going to your phone to go drop a comment. That's understandable. But if you know you're on your phone right now and you know you love watching these videos, can you be a real bitch for a moment and go ahead and drop a comment down below, and you can just put what your favorite color is, hype the video, like the video, and I will love you forever. It helps my algorithm out so much. So let's go ahead and jump into this video. Take it all the way back to 9th grade. This story time does not take place in 9th grade, but in 9th grade, I came across this boy on Snapchat. We are going to name him in this story time something different than the first story time, because it's funny because in the last video that I did, that I told y'all I was gonna do this story time, I literally named the girl Dodo. I'm pretty sure I named her Dodo in the last story time because I said she was a bird. It's funny because I went back to see what I named him in the original story time. I named him Dodo Bird. Literally, I named him Dodo Bird. So we're going to name him something different, just so I don't blur the lines, because I don't want to do that. We're gonna name him, I want to name him Tower of Terror, because he was very tall and he was like, this whole situation traumatized me. So he's definitely giving Tower of Terror. But that's way too long of a name, and that's like doing too much. So we're just gonna name him Fungus. Let's name him Fungus. I came across Fungus on Snapchat when I was in 9th grade, and he had a following. Like, he had a pretty big following on Snapchat at the time. I think that his following was definitely bigger when we rekindled, when I got a bit older or whatever. I don't think it was that big in 9th grade, but for his, like for our age or whatever, he definitely was popping on Snapchat. I had no social media presence at all, and it was impressive to me, but I wasn't like moved by the fact that he had followers. But I will say that he was fine. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, now looking back, I'm not looking at him like that. Like, I'm cool off that. That's not fine anymore. But back then, he was fine. He was tall. He was like,
he was fine,
just attractive, and he would make little thirst trappy videos, which that should have been my first red flag, because why are you as a man, like, he wasn't a grown man. I was about to say, why are you as a grown man? That's even a bigger of a flag. If you see grown men making thirst traps on the internet, like, sis, who's gonna be the boys? Who's gonna be the boys? But he would make little shirtless videos and stuff and just look real good. And I remember, I don't know how I got his Snapchat or what, like I don't remember how we added each other on Snapchat, but I remember him like adding me back on Snapchat. And one day I just like slid up and I was like, you are fine, like you is fine shit. And he was just like, no, you're fine shit. Like, we didn't say that, obviously. We didn't talk like that back then. But I was just like, you look good. Like, you look good. And he was like, you look better or whatever. And we were flirting back and forth. And delusional little me, we got in like a little internet relationship that didn't last very long. Because I'm not gonna lie, this part is how I ain't shit. I didn't even go into depth about this in the first like time that I did this story time. But the reason that I ended up like falling off with him, like we didn't end up like, you know, working out, was because this was 9th grade. I found out he lived in Texas when we added each other on Snapchat. And even though I had family in Texas, I'm not from Texas. I'm from Atlanta. Like, I lived here since I was like, I don't even know, like 4 years old. No, maybe like 5 years old. I don't know. Like, I grew up over here. So that's why I don't say I'm from Texas. But you could say that I'm from both. Like, I was in Texas. That's where I was not born. I was born in Germany because my mother was in the military. And then we moved to Texas by a military base out there, and my aunt has a salon out there, and I still have family out in Texas. So when I started dating him like online in 9th grade, my like thought process was, well, he is in Texas, I have family in Texas, so maybe, you know, this could work out somehow. Even though I was broke as shit, I didn't have a job, I didn't like, I don't know who I don't know who I was feeling like, because my mama wouldn't have let me flown just to go meet a boy when I was in 9th grade anyways. Even if I tried to lie and say I just wanted to visit my auntie or whatever, that wasn't something that I was normally like doing, like not by myself at least. So they would have caught on to that. And I was also scary. I was not ready to do the do. I was not ready to do nothing. Not to say that like we had to do the do if I was gonna meet him, but I was the girl sitting on the edge of a nigga's bed or the edge of the couch like this, after I just talked up a big game on the phone, like, yeah, when I see you I'm gonna kiss you and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And I would literally just be like no. Or we would pet kiss, or maybe we would make out a little bit and I'll be like, wow, like that was crazy, like girl, you didn't do nothing for real. Whole time that nigga was trying to, and you're sitting up in his phone talking about how crazy it was that y'all kissed for 4 hours. Like, be for real. I ended up meeting this boy, which I'm gonna probably do a story time about him next. Y'all let me know if y'all want it. I told you guys that I dated this boy who had me in my alt era for real. I'm not talking about the boy that I was obsessed over, like the senior that came to my school, and how I was like Red Rose Benny and I was trying to be like, you know, more alt in that era. This situation was before that. So I had multiple alt phases like in high school, but my first ever alt phase was in middle school, and it had nothing to do with the boy. So like, I've always been an alt girly at heart, but there were also boys that I had a crush on that were in the like alternative vibe that made me bring my alt back out in high school. And this boy was one of them. He never cheated on me, but he was a pathological liar, and he quite literally like lied to me about some wicked stuff and had me in like some crazy situations. And he was low-key like obsessed with me, and it was getting a little scary. So let me know if y'all want a story time about that. And his mom was a bitch, so there was some tea with his mama, but let me know if y'all want that story time. So I met him while I was talking to Fungus online or whatever, and obviously I met this other boy in real life, and me and Fungus were like, he was starting to lag a little bit as far as texting goes. He wasn't really texting me back quickly, and I was just starting to feel like we were never gonna see each other. I kept asking him like, are you gonna be able to come out here? Because he kept framing it like, if you're not able to come see me, I'll be able to come see you. And it just was giving like, okay, it gets to a point, like we be on FaceTime and whatnot and stuff like that, but like, are we gonna ever see each other or not? Mind you, don't mind my nails. I have that nail appointment in a couple days, so not too much on my nails. I don't feel like taking these off right now. Fast forward, I stopped messing with Fungus. I end up breaking up with him, and I start dating this other boy, the boy that I'm talking about. And Fungus ends up dating this girl, and we're gonna name her real name, Asia. That is her name. I named her China, I believe, in the last video when I did the original story time. And the reason I named her China is because her name was Asia, so I was just trying to do something similar to the name. But I'm just gonna name drop because who cares? I don't even think these people like know I have a YouTube channel at this point. Like, I've never heard from them since even doing the first story time, so I don't think me name dropping her is gonna matter. The only reason I'm not name dropping him is because I also dealt with another boy with the same name as him. He has a very common name, and I don't want to get any lines blurred ever when it comes to that and say, you know, the name and somebody else think I'm talking about them or whatever. So I'm not going to name drop him, but I am going to name drop her, Asia. So not to say that I have more beef with her over him, like he's really the main problem. I'm just saying, like, I feel like being a little bold and saying Asia. So he starts dating this girl named Asia, and the reason I know this is because we didn't break up and it be like all hostile or on bad terms for real. I kind of just told him like that it wasn't working out for me because I don't like long distance, and I kind of felt low-key like he wasn't into the long distance either because of him lagging as well. Like, we kind of were both lagging on each other. It wasn't just him lagging on me. It was kind of like mutual. We were kind of just distancing ourselves from each other, and we were in school, and obviously he was making Snapchats with girls and I was making Snapchats with my homeboys and stuff like that, and it just wasn't working. We weren't arguing, we weren't beefing because, I mean, most likely because he was like doing him and I was doing me. Not cheating, but like, you know what I'm saying? So I break up with him, I start dating this boy, he starts dating this girl, and we still have each other on Snapchat. It's not no beef or nothing like that, but we stopped kind of interacting while I'm in this relationship and while he's in his. Now fast forward, obviously this boy is a pathological liar, like I said, crazy ass nigga. He ends up we end up breaking up or whatever, and that's that. I don't immediately like start talking back to Fungus or anything after this boy. I kind of move on with my life. I still have him on Snapchat, and it kind of just ends up being a memory that me and him dated because it wasn't no deep shit. We never saw each other in person. It was like literally just like a fantasy in my mind at this point. So fast forward, I end up dating the boy that I told you guys about, who I ended up losing my V card to, the boy that was for the boys. That whole traumatizing situation. When I originally told this story time, I couldn't really say that that's who it was or like why we broke up and things like that because I was still cool with him at the time. Even though he put me through that traumatizing ass situation, I kind of felt like I missed him being a friend in my life, and I, you know, rekindled things with him, and we were cool before I started my YouTube channel. But I think that he kind of started talking on TikTok because he had like a small platform. It wasn't no big platform. He started talking about things on TikTok, and he answered a question one time saying that he's never dated a girl and that he'd been for the boys, and he was talking about DL men and things like that, and it kind of really triggered me just because it's like, we're out of high school now, you are out now, and you're kind of just forgetting about the whole experience that you put me through. It's not like I was expecting him to get on the internet and talk about how he did me like that, but you could have at least said that you dated a girl when you were in high school before you came out, or you could have at least said nothing negative about DL men, as if you weren't just a DL man that I was literally fighting the whole school for. That really triggered me, and it kind of made me like, it just pissed me off and it put me off from him. And I think that I said something to him about it, and I think that he blocked me on everything, and that's kind of how we stopped being cool. I don't know if he's healed now, I don't know. He's never reached out to me, and I kind of feel like it's kind of fucked up because although I was a strong personality when we were in a relationship, I was a very good friend to this person, and for me to allow him in my presence, in my space, have sleepovers with him and be cool with him after he put me through that, because I still saw the good in him and wanted to be a friend to him. Even after losing full attraction to him, I put him on with one of my gay guy friends, and he ended up dating him, and you know, I did a lot to try to make him comfortable, and he didn't reciprocate the same energy for me. So it is what it is when it comes to that. But yeah, that's who I ended up dating, and obviously I went through heartbreak. That was my first heartbreak. I was torn, I wasn't eating, things like that. And then when I obviously found out that he was for the boys and that that's why he broke up with me, even though like the other reasons he said were like kind of valid, like me being bossy or whatever, like what man doesn't like a bossy woman? A man that is bossy himself, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got the same type of personality. Obviously we're not going to be compatible. So when I go through this heartbreak, I kind of try to distract myself by getting some attention from another boy. If I'm being honest, like, you know, you ever heard that saying that it's like, to get one nail out of that's stuck in the wall out, you use another nail or something like that? So I don't remember, but I kind of was just trying to do something to distract myself because I quite literally was depressed from this situation. I kind of saw Fungus post a Snapchat just looking good or whatever, and I had slid up and I was like, are you still with Asia? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, well, I'm also single. And he was like, oh, bet. And he was like, for real? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, FaceTime me real quick.
Talking about in it! I'm talking about in it! I'm talking about in
And so I FaceTimed him and we were just talking and we were laughing. We got on the phone for like a couple hours and we were just talking back and forth. And he kind of was just like, what happened? Like, I've seen videos of you guys on, you know, your social media or whatever, and you look really happy with him. Like, what's going on with that? And I kind of just told him, like, I didn't know really like where the breakup came from, because this is before I found out that he was for the boys. So I was just like telling him how distraught I was. I was being honest. Like, I was venting to him about it, and I was just telling him like I was honestly low-key heartbroken, and that I think that I was just too much woman for him, which is true, but I didn't know why. And Fungus was kind of just telling me everything I needed to hear. Like, I should have known better than to reach out to him, or like, you know, partially this is on me because I should have healed, but I was also like 16 years old, so I'm really not holding myself too much on that. But he keeps just telling me everything that I like want to hear, and he's kind of just telling me like, you know,
that's his loss, that's not your loss, that's not nothing personal that you need to take, like, you were good to him, like, I could tell.
And he was just kind of saying like,
you can check in with me like every day, we can get on the phone, you can tell me how you're feeling, and I'm not trying to rush into anything with you, but I am interested in you, so whenever you're ready, like, if you do
feel like you are basically telling me if I feel healed from the situation, whenever I'm ready to take a step with him, that he would treat me better, essentially is what he was getting at. Common words from an ain't nigga. Of course I went for it. Of course I went for it, girl. Like, you would have went for it too. Like, you would have went for it too, no?
Oh, okay.
Well, now I'm checking up with him all the time. We're on the phone, we're chopping it up, and he's just kind of like asking me how I'm feeling developmentally. He's asking me if I want him to DoorDash me something. Like, y'all, I didn't even tell y'all, he was DoorDashing me stuff, meals. He was DoorDashing me American Deli after school. We were getting on FaceTime. I was studying for my exams on the phone with him. Like, we were really getting cozy, right? So fast forward, he ends up telling me he really wants me to give him a chance. He knows that I might still be a little hurt from the situation with me and old boy, but that, you know, he wants to take it there with me. And I kind of give in. Like, he's looking like some fine shit, like I said, and I'm really just like, you know what, why the f not? Like, I don't care. Like, who cares? I was vulnerable, and obviously he was taking advantage of my vulnerability. He was taking advantage of my situation and my feelings, and that's what he did. But I also was the goofy who allowed it. So we start talking or whatever. Shortly after we start talking, it's rolling around spring break, and it's rolling around prom. This was my prom year. I want to preface this by saying this was the year of prom, but the way that my school was, I don't know if this is everybody's school, we ended up having prom, and then we ended up having spring break. Like, or was, I don't know if it was homecoming or if it was prom. No, it was prom. It was prom. So our prom was like early, and we ended up having prom. And shortly before this, while I'm dating Fungus or whatever, I end up finding out from old boy that he's from the boys. This information is found out through somebody that's in my life. I don't think I said who in the last story time, so I'm not gonna say it now, but somebody that's in my life ended up having her cousin, who's also for the boys, contact him and basically do a test to see if he was going to flirt with him back, and he did. I told them not to do it. I fell out with her for a short period of time because of this, because I did not like that she did that. Even though I told her not to, I felt like it was a boundary that she crossed. But essentially I'm glad she did, because the truth needed to be like out some way or another, and it's essentially what made me get over this heartbreak immediately. Like, if I would have known he was for the boys earlier, even though it was pretty obvious and even though everybody else thought so, but obviously if you're intimate with somebody and somebody is sharing like every bit of their life with you and telling you everything about them and how they feel and stuff, and like he even was venting to me about how hard it was for people to accuse him of that, considering that that's not who he really was, and he was lying the whole time. So I find this out, and me being me, the person that I am, I end up, you know, giving him the benefit of the doubt and being cool with him, to the point where we end up still going to prom together, because we had already planned to go to prom together before we broke up, and he wanted to go to prom, I wanted to go to prom, we wanted to have fun with our friends, and I kind of just wanted all of the drama about us breaking up to be over with. So we went to prom together, and people thought that we were getting back together when we went to prom together, because he still was not out. he was not ready to come out either. So I kind of had to, like, now that I think about it, I kind of had to like dance on him a little bit, which was breaking my heart. Not because I had feelings for him still, but because it just reminded me of the turmoil that he just put me through. But I wasn't dancing on him crazy. Like, I guess y'all could say that that was technically me cheating on Fungus, but it wasn't, because Fungus knew. Like, once I found out that he was for the boys, I told Fungus he was for the boys, and I told him that I was gonna go to prom with him. I told him I was fully transparent about everything, and he said he did not care. He was not worried about that or none of that, right? Mind you, he told me the reason that he felt like we even broke up the first time around in 9th grade was because we weren't old enough to see each other, and he felt like now that we were older, we would be able to see each other easier. He was promising that if I can't fly to him, he'll fly me to him, or that he'll fly to me, and that he really wants to make it work with me because he's seen me all these years on Snapchat, just like getting older and growing up, and he basically said he needed him a piece of that, right? Okay. So prom rolls around, and I'm going to prom with old boy, and I'm communicating with Fungus the entire time. Fungus is telling me how much he loves me, how much he can't wait to see me, and how he wants me to come see him for spring break. Now, my nana worked for Delta at the time. We did not get free flights, but we had discounted flights or whatever, and I had some money. I was working at the time. I was working since I was able to work, and I ended up booking me a flight to go see him for spring break. Mind you, we were on the phone in the hotel the night of my prom night. The boy that I went with, the boy that was for the boys, he ended up going home. I ended up staying in that hotel room with Ella, the girl that I told you guys about in another story time, and my other friend Ashlyn, and we ended up spending the night in the hotel. It was fun, and I was on FaceTime with Fungus when they went to sleep, and one of them was dealing with a boy that she brought over to the hotel room or whatever, and me and the other girl, I'm not gonna say like who is who, because it's not y'all business. I don't want to put their business out there, but one of the girls brought a boy back to our hotel room, and I went with the other girl that was in there with me to go like walk around the little hotel. She was on the phone with one of her little hoes or whatever, and I was on the phone with Fungus, and he was just telling me he loved me and all of this stuff. Now keep this in mind, right? Fast forward to me flying out there to go meet him. My plan is to stay out there for basically the whole spring break. Like, I literally was ready to say bye mama, bye brother, bye nana, I'm going to Texas to go stay with my auntie. And I did tell them that I was dating a boy. They knew because I was on the phone with him nonstop. I told my auntie about him. I asked her if I fly out there for spring break and stay with her for spring break, can I hang out with him? And you know, I prepped the situation. I wasn't about to go over there and ditch my family and them not know I was out there for a nigga and all this. Like, they knew. Okay, they knew what I was doing. And I was never no sneaky ass little girl, and I never was no fast ass little girl either. Maybe you can say with how many boys I was dating and stuff, but y'all already know I wasn't like doing the do with people like that. Like, the boy that was for the boys who took my V card was the only boy I had did anything with until Fungus. Obviously, because this was right after him, but I'm saying even after Fungus, I hadn't done nothing with anybody else until the boy that I'm currently with now. So if that gives you any type of math, I'm not somebody that sleeps around. I'm not somebody that does casual anything. I did the casual thing literally one time only, and I have less than a handful of people that I have slept with. Not to say it's a flex in the sense of if you have more that I'm judging you or anything like that, but I don't even have 5 bodies. So that can give you some context as to why my family trusted me with my body and what I was doing and stuff like that, even though this situation is one of the few that I have, unfortunately. I end up flying there. Fast forward, I'm super nervous. I'm literally bricks. I'm literally like throwing up, pissing, farting, and burping all at the same time. And I fly into the airport or whatever. He ends up picking me up from the airport. We meet. It's not all dramatic. Like, y'all know how people be running to each other in the airport and jumping on each other and having these dramatic ass meetings when they're long distance relationships.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't like that. It was just like, I went out to his car, he helped me put my bags in the car, and I was just like, hey boo, and I gave him a hug. He was tall as hell. I'm 5'2", if that gives y'all any reference. And I got in the car trying to act all pee. I was literally finna pee myself, but I was trying to act pee. He was trying to act pee. He's over here like driving his car like this. He got a nice little car or whatever. And he was supposed to be taking me over to my auntie's house because that's who I was staying with. And obviously I promised her when I touched down that I would go, you know, see her or whatever. Kind of surprised that she like let me get picked up by a boy at the airport, but they had they had seen me on FaceTime with him. My auntie had my location, and she don't play. Like, my Uncle Charles don't play either. They would have came guns blazing if anything was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, I don't know. It's just, looking back, it's kind of funny. So he ends up taking me by there. My aunties end up meeting him. My cousin ends up meeting him. And everybody immediately tells me that they sense a vibe from him. They're like, he's very handsome. They meet him. We go to this arepa place in Texas. We eat. And he kind of just drops me off at my aunt's house and says that he'll pick me up later so that we can hang out or whatever. I wanted to get settled and see my family first. I wasn't that male-centered. While they're talking to me about how, like, you know, how he was when we ate and stuff like that, they didn't have really anything positive to say about his personality. They were just saying that he was handsome and that they hope he doesn't break my heart, essentially. I don't know if that was them trying to say that I was chop shit. Like, I hope he doesn't break your heart because of how he was so good looking and maybe I wasn't as cute at the time. I don't know why they said that, or if they just sensed the vibe that he was a player, because he definitely gave off that vibe for sure. Fast forward, he ends up picking me up a couple days, or no, not a couple days later, like later that night or the next day, and he ends up picking me up. We end up going on some dates, right? We're going on dates. He takes me to Cane's, I'm pretty sure. And we have like a little Cane's date. We end up going to Freebirds. We end up going to a bunch of places, and we even end up like doing Postmates orders. I don't know if it was called Postmates or something else, but we ended up doing Postmates orders together. We're vibed out, like we're kissing, and I'm really feeling him or whatever. He took me on a few dates. We went and got steak, I believe, as well, and I was just kind of impressed, like how he was taking me on all these dates, paying for everything, like period. Like, as a man should, if he's pursuing you and trying to take you on dates. I'm not saying like you can't pay for dates too, but it's not common that you see that, especially at the age that I was at. Like, a young nigga 9 times out of 10 don't got no money, just like you don't got no money. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of like, okay, he had his ducks in a row. He was ready to take me on, you know, steak dates or whatever and stuff like that. I was really just like feeling it. Like, I was in La La Land, in the Lulu Land, and I was falling for the okie doke, literally. Per usual though, per usual. Y'all know it's not a Chesa story time. If the spring break is like damn near 2 weeks, I want to say, or maybe I've been there for a couple days now, I don't know. He ends up coming over my auntie's house, y'all, and nobody was there. Now, am I proud about this?
No.
I'm pretty sure my auntie knew that this happened there, because that's all we were, like, there together. So I'm pretty sure she had to have known that it was there. But long story short, we end up doing the do. And we end up doing the do with protection. Now, with the protection, he kind of said something to me like how it slipped off a little bit. I saw him put it on before we started, but at some point when we were finished, it was off a little bit, which is why I got so scared, like, with this situation. But it was off a little bit, and I just kind of was looking at him like, what the heck? And he was like, oh, like, it came off a little bit, like it was slipping off, which doesn't really make any sense to me. But
yeah,
boom, he ends up going home. My aunties end up getting back to the house. I obviously didn't do it like disrespectfully, like I laid out something. It wasn't like we was on somebody's bed or nothing like that. I'm chilling with my aunties. Literally, we were making arepas, chilling on the couch. I'm watching movies and stuff with my aunties, and I get a text. I get a DM, or I don't know if it was a Snapchat or a DM from Asia. And I knew her name because I knew the girl he was dating while we were not together in the like past or whatever. I knew it was her, and I didn't have her on social media, baby. So me getting a message from her, it was on Instagram, it was in my message request. I get a message from her that says something along the lines of,
I don't know what you and Fungus Boy,
I'm just gonna say like that, imagine that's his first and last name, Fungus Boy. She's like,
I don't know what you and Fungus Boy have going on, but I hope you know if you him, you need to take your ass to the hospital.
That's exactly what she said to me. I didn't say it exactly how she said it then, but that's exactly how she said it to me. If you him, you burning. Basically is what she was saying. Like, hello?
Stop fine.
So I see this message and I'm like, immediately no. I'm immediately overheating. Like, I have anxiety. Y'all know this about me. I am quite literally starting to panic and overheat. Mind you, my auntie is sitting damn near popcorn in hand watching whatever we're watching together. She has no idea that I'm literally spiraling right next to her, literally about to crash out, literally about to pass out, literally about to have a heart attack right next to her. Okay, I end up like ignoring the message for a minute because I'm like, this can't be happening to me. Like this is not real. I'm not even about to entertain this message. I just cannot. I'm starting to move around, like I'm taking deep breaths. I'm trying to yawn just to get a deep breath in. That's how bad it is. So I end up just saying like, F it, let me respond to her. So I open the DM and I'm kind of just like, what are you talking about? Like, that's my man. Like, I know that y'all used to date or whatever, y'all used to go together or whatever, but that's my man. So what are you talking about? She ends up hitting me with a picture. Y'all know those wristbands they give you when you go to the hospital that has a timestamp and your name and stuff like that? Yeah, it doesn't have test results on it or nothing. She sends me a picture of that and she's like, well, I just want to let you know that, you know, your man, Mr. Fungus, he gave me the clap. And when I say the clap, y'all, the SD that rhymes with social media, I said it in the first video. The C, it starts with a C and it ends with an A. I'm pretty sure that's the one that the pandas have. So we're just gonna call it the panda disease. She's like, Mr. Fungus gave me the panda disease. And I'm immediately at a loss for words, because my whole thought process is, yes, there are crazy girls that will lie to you about a nigga to try to keep you from messing with them, but wouldn't she say like he has something rather than that she has something? Like, you're admitting to having something. I didn't think she would go as far as to lie and say that she has something herself if it was like, you know, a lie. I don't know, like, it's not to say that I'm judging a woman if she has something, because you can catch something from sleeping with one person. You never know if you're not careful enough, or somebody lies to you. That's why you got to get checked out here. But at the end of the day, the only reason that I thought that it would be crazy and embarrassing for her is if you really do show me proof of you having something and it didn't come from him, that would mean that you got it from someone else and you're willing to expose that about yourself when it has no link to him. So not only would I know that you're lying about him giving it to you, he would know that you're lying about him giving it to you. So that's embarrassing for you if you're still trying to mess with him. You know what I mean? I immediately start crying because she sends me proof of her having the panda disease, paperwork, timestamps. I'm like, oh,
Okay, cool.
so I end up telling my auntie. I confessed to her what I did. She's obviously disappointed in me. She's like, why would you do something with him when you don't know him like that? But I'm not gonna judge you. My aunties are not judgmental at all. They're like ready to support me and, you know, help me out and figure out what's going on here. And they kind of just are like telling me like, well, you need to like not just take her word for it, you need to talk to him about it. He needs to be honest with you. You need to go to the clinic if you need to go to the clinic. Like, you know, you can't undo that you did something with him. All you can do now is take more precaution next time if you're gonna do something with him, and you need to go figure out, you know, if he has something or not, because if she has something from him, then he would have it right now, most likely. So I end up calling him back to my auntie house. He pulls up, I get in his car. Immediately I start cussing him out. I'm reading him for filth. I damn near started speaking in Spanish to the nigga. I'm like,
What is wrong with you? What is this? What is she talking about? Why is she showing me that she has the panda disease? You never had the disease and you have the nerve to sleep with me, and then you talking about the protection was slipping off. Like, are you cool? Ho? Is you cool?
Is hoes cool? That's what I'm trying to figure out, Bookie. I don't know if a hoe cool or if a hoe hot. I don't know.
like I was spiraling. He's like, whoa, 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 calm down, calm down. What are you talking about? He's looking at the evidence. He's like,
she's a liar. She does this every single time that I start talking to a new girl. Like, she's a crazy ex. She's obsessive. You know, we was dating for a long time, so she don't like to see me with nobody new. She will literally make up anything, even at the expense of her own dignity. Like, she would lie about some shit like that. She would.
And I'm like, all right, I'm not taking your word for it or the bitch word for it. Let's go ahead and go take Minute Clinic's word for it, okay? Oh no, it wasn't the Minute Clinic, it was like an urgent care. So I'm like, okay, well, first thing tomorrow, if you're not lying, you have no problem getting tested, right? He's like, I don't have a problem getting tested. I'm like, okay, cool. So pick me up in the morning and we're gonna go to the clinic first thing when they open. We're gonna be waiting outside the clinic like people be waiting outside for them J's. People used to wait outside and camp out for new Jordans and shit. How people be doing for that bear at Starbucks, even though you shouldn't be supporting Starbucks, no shade. Yeah, I'm like, we finna camp outside the urgent care. Like, it's that serious. He picks me up in the morning, we go to the urgent care, he gets tested. I'm like, baby, you thought you was getting tested just for the panda disease? No, you need to get tested for everything under the sun. I don't give a, and I need to get tested too. We both get tested for everything. I'm clear of everything, he's also clear of everything. So I'm like, huh? I'm a little bit confused. Now, this is the part that I left out. we had gone to a park. This makes me look like I'm a little fast, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, he was just, to me at the time, he was such fine that I was like willing to like let all my morals go for this man. Like, that's how much I liked him. Plus I felt comfortable because I had known him and I had been talking to him on Snapchat for years at this point. It kind of felt like I knew him, even though I clearly didn't know him well enough. We went to a park and there was a moment where he was being funny with me and he was saying that he wanted to me at the park, and I was like, no, I'm not finna like take my clothes off at the park. Like, we're not doing that. And I was like, but let me you at the park. And I was just playing low-key, but I don't know one male who would turn down some Donald, you know who, some Donald J. So I'm like, what the hell? You said no way too fast, boo. Like, of course I wouldn't have done that because it was at a park. It was at night, but like, we could have did that in the car for all that if I wanted to just be on some freaky timing. But even though I made that joke, you know, I expected him to be like, oh, for real? Like, oh, you on that? Like, something, even though I wasn't gonna do it for real. He immediately is like, no, no, no. And I'm like, oh, hello? Keep this moment in mind, honey. Keep it in mind. Mind you, when we did the do, it was in the dark. So now that he's clear of everything, I talked to my aunties and they're just kind of like, she probably lied just to try to ruin y'all's relationship. Like, she's a crazy ex. You don't need to deal with that. Block her. I ended up blocking her on everything and moving on with my life, dating Fungus. He's taking me on dates still. We're still, you know, hanging out. We're still vibed out. I kind of forget about Asia and leave that on the back burner or whatever, right? Fast forward some more. He ends up like going inside of a store or something while we're together, and Shawty ends up DMing me off of a fake account, a new one, but it said her name in the username. So I mean, she wanted me to know it was her. It said like, say it was like Asia1234X97947765 user, something like that. So I knew it was her. I end up opening it. What you think? Send me non-stop receipts of her in the nigga car, of him between the bitch legs, yes, kissing videos, all of this. And mind you, time-stamped from Snapchat. One thing y'all know about them Snapchat memories is it'll tell you what date and what time you took that shit. What do you think the dates were on it? One of the first screenshots she sent me was literally my prom night. The night that I was on the phone with him. The night that he was saying he loved me. The night he was saying, like, making the plan of this trip that I was currently on. The night that we were in a relationship. Another date, her sitting in his car. Same week that I was supposed to be flying out to him. Another one, the same week I was supposed to be flying out to him. While we were on the phone, literally, one of the nights that we were on the phone that he ended up, or one of the days that we were on the phone that he ended up hanging up the phone on me, she hung up the phone on me. She literally told me in the messages, she was like, do you remember being on the phone with him while he said he was doing his orders or whatever for Postmates? Because he'd been doing that. Not like he was doing that before I got there and did some with him. He had this doing some orders with him too. And she would literally like hang up on me when she felt like he was talking to me too long on the phone. Like, they were on some toxic stuff. She was explaining that they were on a break at this time. So she was talking to other people and he was talking to other people to try to make her jealous, and that she would like hang up on me and stuff. She didn't know the extent of like us dating. Like, she didn't know all that, but she just thought I was one of the girls he was talking to and stuff. And he basically was threatening her like, oh,
I'm gonna end up flying Chesa out and she's gonna come see me and I'm gonna do something with her and I'm gonna leave you for her.
And she didn't, like, she was calling his bluff. She thought he was just talking because he's toxic and he would make threats and they would do that to each other, but she didn't think I was actually gonna come. Mind you, the day that he picked me up from the airport and dropped me off at my auntie's house after we ate and stuff like that, so that I could settle in with my auntie, he went to go pick her up.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
So she's sending me all these receipts. She's like, I know you blocked me. I don't know, like, if you think that I'm lying to you about him giving me something, but he definitely did, and he definitely got treated for it. I can send you the screenshots of him admitting to it, and I can show you where we both went, and blah, blah, blah. And she said that he basically took his treatment or whatever, so if he doesn't have it now, that, you know, it's been out of his system, or he no longer has it. He had cured it with the treatment. So I'm like, what the? So I'm still over here, right? So I end up telling her, like, you know what, let's get on the phone. She calls me. She's telling me all the tea. She's telling me that, like, literally after he had met my aunties, after he had met my people, that he was talking about me to Asia, that they were linking up. And there was like a point where I had met his mother, and his mother was telling me that he's a liar. Like, when I went, like, when he picked me up to go to the clinic, he stopped like by his house or whatever to get money, because obviously going to the urgent care abruptly to get a bunch of testing is not going to be cheap. So he had to get like money from his stepdad. And when his mom came outside, she was like, I think that you're so good for my son. Like, he's a liar, and he's not, like, you know, he's not perfect, but I think you'll be so good for him. Like, girl, do you see what situation we're in right now? Mind you, she knew, and that's what you say to me? Like, L moms, for real. And literally, like, when I had went in his house, I went in his house briefly, like, before one of our dates. He had rings on his little, like, windowsill thing that were Asia's, that he told me were Asia's, but he was like, from a long time ago, I never moved them. They were from that same week. They were literally from that week where he was hanging out with her. He was literally hanging out with her while hanging out with me. And that same day, his little sister was like, is that Asia? Through the door. And I thought she was just being a little petty little girl or whatever, because she was really young. She was probably like 10. And I thought she was just trying to be funny to me because, you know, she might have liked her brother's ex-girlfriend or whatever. No, she genuinely thought it was Asia, because Asia was just over there like 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
So obviously she tells me all the tea, and I end up telling him, like, yeah, I need you to take me back to my auntie's house. Like, you're a liar, you ain't. You need to take me home. You need to take me to my auntie's house or whatever. He ends up telling me that he was never trying to hurt me, and that he was just trying to, like, get over her, and that he couldn't, like, pick between us because we're such both good girls, and that I reminded him of her. Yeah. And that he could never leave her alone. And my whole thing is, like, in the first story time when I told this, I was saying how, like, it felt like baby mama drama with no baby. Like, this isn't even your baby mama, and you treating her like your baby mama. You can't leave her alone. You're over here talking to her while you dating other women, and it's giving like, this is your first love. You're in love with her still. Go get your back. Like, please go get the love of your life. Please go get your wife back. Like, what are you doing? Like, I would understand it more if y'all had a baby together and y'all just couldn't leave each other alone because y'all, like, are always in each other's lives and y'all just can't stop. But it's like, if you don't got no kid with this girl and you can't leave her alone, then you need to leave me alone and go be with her. Like I said in the first video, go get your back. Hello? He ends up saying, like, he don't give up, and how he was just using me to get over her, and how she gonna take him back anyway, like she always do, which is kind of all bad for her. Like, stand up.
Stand up!
But also, it was just kind of like ill, like literally ill. So I ended up like trying to tell him, like, okay, and he was like, do you want to work this out or not? And I was just lying to him. I was like, yeah, we could probably talk about it. Like, we could talk about it, because I wanted him to drive me back to my auntie's house. Like, say my auntie lived in right here, like this is the city she lived in Texas. He lived all the way over here. Like, it was at least an hour drive, so I didn't want to have my auntie have to come an hour out of the way to come get me. I didn't want to have to take no Uber that was an hour away. It was like probably like 50 minutes away, but I also wasn't familiar in that area, so I lied to him and told him we could work it out. And I kind of dragged it a little bit too. I remember being on FaceTime with him when I was at the airport leaving Texas, and I was kind of just telling him, like, I really hate that you played me like this. Like, you could have just stayed my friend, or we could have been, like, you know, maybe even friends with benefits if you would have been honest with me. Like, I was honest with you about how I was going through a heartbreak. You could have told me you had feelings for your ex at the time. I probably wouldn't have messed with you while you were messing with her or nothing like that, but, like, you didn't have to do me like this, especially when you knew I was heartbroken. And that's, like, you went out of your way to tell me to, like, let you pursue me and to be with you. So, like y'all know I'm so used to dealing with niggas that go out of their way to damn near beg for a chance just to ruin the chance and traumatize me. So she ends up blocking me out of nowhere, and then they started dating again. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a child at this point, like to this day, if they were still together. I have not seen nor heard from either one of them. I've not checked up for him though. Like, I don't even know how to find him on social media if I wanted to. But it's giving that's the love of his life, and they were just in a toxic young relationship. And I'm not judging it too bad, because like I said, the man that I'm with now, we have been dealing with each other since 2019, and we didn't get it all the way right when we first, you know, the first 3 years of our relationship. Not no like cheating weird like that, but you know, sometimes when you're young you don't know how to go about a relationship the proper way, and it's understandable, but not at the expense of somebody else's feelings. Like, You could have kept that. Like, you could have kept that. And literally, like, the way that that girl was harassing me, I told him literally, like, pull up on her. And he was like, no, I don't want you to fight her. I don't want you to fight her. I should have known right there that he was sparing her because that's his other... What you mean you don't want me to fight her? Hello? And she's harassing me and she's defaming you, your name. She's literally accusing you of giving her the clap and you're telling me not to beat her ass? Yeah, she definitely gave you the clap. So what ended up happening was he did have it. Not at the time where we were messing around, but he had given it to her prior. And then he took treatment for it and he was no longer like positive for it anymore. But what he did have is inactive bumps on his thing, which is why he didn't want me to give him Donald J when I asked him at the park. And he didn't want me to see his thing, or I guess feel it or whatever. He didn't want me to see that. And that's why when we did the do, he wanted to do it in the dark, because when you have the clap, I think that you get something on your area, and like he had remnants of that still on his area that were no longer active, if that makes sense, but you could still see it from when he did have it. And that's why he didn't want to do much in that area of things, because he didn't want me to see that. And he did have something that he gave to her that he cleared up before doing stuff with me. Whole time though, when she was saying she had it, by the way, she didn't say she actively had it. She said that she had just gotten over it and he had just given it to her. So even if he was messing with her while he was messing with me in Texas while I was there, I was clear. I tested again when I got back to Georgia and everything. Like he never gave me anything. If I got something from him, I would have been honest with y'all, because you can clear up the clap. There's a lot of girls that catch the panda and, you know, you can cure that. It's not something forever or permanent. So it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you did, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Comment other videos that you guys want to see from me. Turn on the post notification bell so you never miss when I post a video. Follow me on all my social medias that are in the link tree in the description box below. If you are one of those people that's going to be like, you didn't say anything extra or anything new from the last story time, I definitely gave y'all extra details, even if it was not too many. But y'all told me 99% of people voted that they wanted a retelling of this story time, so that's what I'm gonna give y'all. It's not like I'm running out of story times or anything like that. I just came across the video, like it popped up for myself on YouTube, and I was like, wow, you would think this has way more views considering this was 4 years ago. Maybe people haven't seen it, so that's what got me thinking about it. If I ever do a retelling of a story time, I will make sure with you guys that a big enough majority of you guys want it. And also it would just be like, it would be for a reason that I'm retelling the story. I'm not just gonna start retelling a bunch of my story times because I'm running out of, baby, I have plenty more stories to tell. And I have part 2s and little like not subscribers, like sub stories, as in like from story times I've already told y'all about certain people. I have other story times involving that same person, like that I can tell like part 2s about that person, or a whole different situation that's not a part 2 to a certain situation, but it has to do with that person. Like I have plenty more to come, and brand new situations with brand new people you haven't even heard about. So I will be telling story times probably till I'm 40, child. Like as long as y'all still want them, I still got them for you. I did also do a like a questionnaire on Instagram asking you guys what you guys want from me as far as telling a story time while doing something. I'm not gonna switch over to doing something while I tell story times every story time. I'm gonna do this mainly, like I sit down and do it like this, but sometimes I want to throw in maybe a mukbang while I do a story time, or cooking while I do a story time, makeup while I do a story time, or just something while I do it, just to switch it up sometimes. And I gave you guys the chance to tell me what you would want me to do, and a lot of y'all gave me some good ideas. So there's many more content to come, and I love you guys so much, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.